My name is ZHENHUA. My channel number is 155209. I represent the introduction part of the presentation. The first is the legal issue surrounding the case of the hearing case. This case involves reckless driving and hit and run, which lead to the death of the young mother and her daughter. It highlights the dangers of the street racing and the consequences of reckless driving on inconsistent road user. When you look at this case, we must consider how the legal system handles incidents with reckless driving while promoting road safety. The court found the camera hearing guilty and sentenced him to 24 years in prison. However, during the trial, the hearing since don't care so much and try to claim that the accident just cannot avoid and he don't have any responsibility related to them. This case raises concern about the effectiveness of the legal system and the need for stricter enforcement of the law to protect all road users. The next section is why we choose this case as our assignment. This case is not limited to the state of Florida, but also linked with Malaysia because as some data reveals that Malaysia still is the top 10 most dangerous country to drive in. And it is not hard to find some related case with the reckless driving in Malaysia. So I think this case can raise our road safety and concern about the reckless driver in the road. Also, the personal responsibility is also the essential aspect of this case. The camera hearing attempt to reduce his sentence raised question about his understanding of the gravity of his action and whether he has taken responsibility for the devastating consequence of the car accident. We must reflect on the nature of responsibility and personal growth so that such incidents do not occur again. To all, from the hearing case, it highlights the dangers of the reckless driving and importance of safe driving and consider for all other road users. It shows that the legal system needs to be more effective in handling similar cases and promoting road safety. It is our responsibility as individuals to be responsible driver and prioritize safe driving to protect not only our own lives, but also those inconsistent by standards. Let us learn from this case and work together to create safe roads for everyone. That's all. Thank you.
My name is MUHAMAD bin MIRZA. My matrix number is 152331. So for my part and HAIQAL's part, we will talk about legal ambiguity. So first of all, we're going to talk about what is the definition of legal ambiguity and why it is actually happened in legal cases. And the next one, some of the examples of legal ambiguity within the legal case. So let's move on. So the phrase legal ambiguity is used to describe circumstances in which the law is murky and it's challenging to ascertain what course of actions is legal. Thus, this uncertainty is frequently brought about by laws or regulations that use unclear or obscure language, or by laws that contradict with one another, or by laws that overlap. And this particular example, in our particular case, it is about the use of unclear language. So the next one is about the biggest issues with legal ambiguities is that it can make difficult for people and business to follow the law, since it can lead to confusion and uncertainty. Some situation, people may be unsure whether their activities are lawful or not, and maybe related to the actions or concern that it could intentionally break the law. And finally, despite these difficulties, any legal system will inevitably include some degree of law ambiguity in order to avoid becoming overly restrictive. In order to avoid becoming overly restrictive, laws and regulations tend to be written in general language. So that is all for me. I will pass on to HAIQAL.
Hi, my name is Muhammad HAIQAL bin Muhammad. My metric number is 153024, and I will continue the legal ambiguity after the MIRZA's part. By the way, thank you MIRZA for the introduction of the legal ambiguity, and I will continue from here. Alright, so based on our legal case, which is the camera hearing incident that killed the mother and the children, we found out that there does not appear to be any legal ambiguity in this case, because the memorandum of law and argument that presented by the defendant seeks a reduction of his sentences based on his counsel post-sentencing discussion with Mr. Andrew Warren and voicemail Mr. Warren that left for the defendant's attorney at the time. Alright. However, the states of Florida's position at defendant Herring's sentencing, at which Mr. Warren was in attendance for the entire day, that was very clear and remained unchanged. The state of Florida did not object to the sentence the court, right, imposed, and Mr. Warren's personal opinions concerning the defendant's sentence, as relayed in the defendant's motion, are not the position of the state of Florida, as reflected through the volumes of the record information in this case. The court followed Florida law and considered all the relevant information in sentencing the defendant Herring. Therefore, there does not appear to be any legal ambiguity in this case. Alright, I think that's all from me, and I will pass for another presenter to present their part. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello doctor, my name is MYRIAM. My metric number is BB8371, and I will present to you the role of ChatGPT in promoting plain language and its benefit for non-legal laypersons. So firstly, it is known that ChatGPT has been trained in a massive amount of text from various sources, including text from specific fields, in order to recognize the pattern in human language. So it is capable to understand the meaning of a professional text and simplify it by using a vocabulary more common. It identifies the words that are specific to a field, and then it rephrases it with simpler words while keeping the meaning. So we can see this process of simplification in the following excerpt coming from the original decision and ChatGPT answers. So as we can see, the AI changes the words with the Latin words to more basic wording. As for instance, we have obligated that have been changed to doesn't have to, or even routinely that have been changed to it is common. ChatGPT changes words coming from Latin to the use of modern that are more commonly used in English language. Despite the fact that ChatGPT gives accessibility to everyone to the legal world through its simplifications, it also resists to some problems. Indeed, a specific vocabulary for a field is important, as these specific words, despite sounding complicated, have a purpose that basic words can't convey. In fact, plain language will result in many problems that legalist bridges, like the loss of precision that would result in misunderstanding, or raise ambiguity that would open to interpretation. As much as plain language opens the legal field to everyone, this could result in some real problems of interpretation and clarity in the legal field. Thank you, Doctor, for listening to me, and I will leave you with the next presenter.
Legal language can be complex and difficult to understand for those without a legal background. ChatGPT can make legal information easier to understand by simplifying complex legal concepts with a neutral language processing and generative features, and explaining the gaps between them in easy understand language. Now, let's talk to usage in the detailed ChatGPT. Number 1, ChatGPT can simplify the breakdown of key legal concepts, arguments, and outcomes when discussing a particular legal case. For example, by avoiding excessive legal jargon and using everyday language, ChatGPT can explain the thematic elements of a case as well as events and cases when it comes to hearings, international assault case, and it allows non-legal people to grasp the basic aspects of the case. Number 2, ChatGPT can help to summarize lengthy legal documents or judgments into concise and easy-to-understand summaries. Legal documents are often dense and full of complex language, which makes it difficult for laymen to extract relevant information. ChatGPT can analyze and extract the main points, key arguments, and findings from these documents. This helps to save the user time and effort by providing them with necessary information. In addition, ChatGPT can answer questions and engage in interactive conversations that can be tailored to help users understand relevant information. This interactivity allows users to become more involved in learning process and explore areas they're finding challenging. More importantly, ChatGPT's ability to respond to the user is easy to understand language provides a more accessible experience for a lawful individual seeking to understand legal case.
My name is Chenhui. Magic number is 155088. Now we look at the conclusion. After discussion, we think there is no legal ambiguity in her case. However, when doing research on legal cases, it is very important to examine whether there are legal ambiguities in the legal language of legal case. Legal ambiguity can complicate and create challenge in resolving legal cases because different interpretation can lead to different outcomes. Examining for legal ambiguity in the legal language of a legal case is primarily examining whether there are problems with laws or regulations using ambiguous language, allowing laws to contradict each other or laws to overlap. Examples include ambiguity in legal provisions, unclear definition, inconsistent wording, or other constructual problems. In the above discussion, we summarized 3 advantages of ChatGPT. The first is simplify legal terms. The second is provide case explanation. The last is answer questions and doubts. In a word, as a powerful language mode, ChatGPT effectively simplifies legal language by providing easy-to-understand, concise explanation and definition, helping non-legal professionals better understand legal documents, cases, and clauses. At the same time, ChatGPT can use simpler language to help non-legal professionals understand legal concepts and legal terms. This is the end of presentation. Thank you for your listening.